Alright guys, before we get started, the lobby chat has proven to be a divisive factor between viewers and people are always commenting like, oh, you removed the chat, you should keep the chat in, hey, get rid of the chat, it's too much for me. So I'm going to have the chat here, and if you don't like the chat, I'm just going to invite you to get a piece of cardboard and some sticky tape, and you just place the cardboard over the chat and tape it to your computer screen, because thinking of this independently is too much for some people, and that way the people who love and hate the lobby chat can enjoy my videos as a family. So let's get into the fight. What's up guys, got some World Cup round 2 here between Tesung from US East and Valentine from US West. I think East, I can check here, I think East are up 3-2, yeah. So this should be a good game. Tesung's won like 2 Smogon tours and he's just been a bit of a juggernaut for a while. He sort of had a bad SPL 7, I think he won like 1 game. But yeah, he's a really strong player. Valentine sort of was out of the picture for a while, but he, I think, went 3-0 in round 1, so he's still solid. He's got a pretty standard team, with the exception of Thunderous T, just like a very standard Volcanion team. I guess the Thunderous is usually like a Keldeo on that team. And Tesung has a slightly weirder looking team. Yeah, Tesung's is harder to read for me at least. So this is like Mega Sizz. This could be Scarf Thunderous because the team is so slow. It could even be Scarf Lando with surprise Rox Tita. So Valentine leads with this, which is kind of surprising when Tesung has a Rotom. But yeah, Clef is a... That's not that much. If it has Flamethrower, it's a pretty massive threat, but Banded T-Tar and probably Specs Volcanion can put a lot of pressure on it. It could be Rox Clef, but I kind of figure that one of the other ones would have Rox. I think that should be Scarf Lando, though, because this team is so slow. So Rox Tran... I mean, it's kind of weird to lead with Clef if it doesn't have Rox. But maybe he just... I don't know why he would lead with Clef. It does match up well against like most of the Pokemon on Val's team, so I guess that makes sense. So this is probably... Yeah, this is definitely Mega Latias. So Tesung's going to be scared out. Valentine goes to the Steam Eruption. That is not Specs, unless that's like super fat Rotom. But Specs does like what, closer to half, so this could be like a Resist Berry, or I don't think it would do... I guess it depends on the Rotom, but I don't think it would do that much if it was like bulky Volcanion. Yeah, it's hard to say a lot about their teams at this stage. Torn T, I guess, could be a threat to Valentine with the right set, like Heatwave Superpower could definitely do a lot of work against this, so he goes for the HP Grass, and yeah, definitely not Specs. So Rotom is super weak right now, so I guess Valentine is hoping to win with Sizz, but he also needs to weaken the Heatran to do that. So yeah, this threat is in, and that's actually kind of surprising because he's just risking a Hurricane here, so I guess it's AV, although... Does it... I feel like Life Orb would almost fit better here, but maybe the Tran has Magma Storm to deal with Stall, and like Rotom annoys Stall a lot, so it's not necessarily a Stall weak team. It could also be like Carmine Mega Lati, which is a bit of a Stall breaker. Yeah, that must be Life Orb, good god. And this is Lefty's Thunderous T, so yeah, Val's team is either just really slow, or maybe he has Scarf Latios, which is it's like a really uncommon set, but I think it's quite cool. So yeah, that just took a huge hit. I think this could have won, because if it's lefties, it's almost certainly like Nasty Plot and or Agility, and if he just gets +2/+2 at some point, which isn't easy, but like switching this in, it just took like this huge hit. So he just goes for the safe T-Bolt as Tesung brings in his Mega Lati. This could have swept though, like depending on what its whether it has HP Flying or HP Ice. I think Ice would be much better here. But yeah, maybe switching it into... Well, I guess he just like lost a Pokemon if he didn't switch that in, so I understand the reasoning, and getting up a plot and an agility would have been quite difficult. So Tesung has D-Pulse, fat-looking T-Tar. Well, it's actually not too fat, but on the Volcanion, like the typical Volcanion teams, it's like Volcanion, Bandtar, Mega Sizz. Actually, maybe it's just like a Dark type with Pursuit, and then Mega Sizz. So Tesung's just going to stay in there expecting the Pursuit, which, yeah, that's definitely banded. So he's going to lose his Lati here. Weakening the T-Tar isn't going to help him too much. Well, I guess Tesung, like, the most obvious win con for Tesung is the Clef. But it's going to be quite hard to get rid of the Sizz, although Val actually doesn't deal with Heatran that well, so maybe Tesung's thinking I'll weaken the T-Tar so that it can't, like, trap Heatran. And then, like, Tran itself almost wins if he can get rocks up for the Volcanion. It's actually super weak already, so, like, as strange as it seems, Heatran is sort of shaping up as a bit of a win condition. So, it obviously depends on the set, but, like, he only needs Lava Plume, like, he doesn't need other attacks. So he goes to Clef here, which, again, makes it seem like he has rocks on that. Yeah, he sets up rocks with Clef, so that makes sense that he led with it. Just gets Moonblast damage on the Lando, which doesn't help. I guess it helps the Heatran's cause. If you can weaken this Lando down to, like, 40%, it'll die to Lava Plume. Maybe 35 to be safe. So, yeah, Stealth Rock. I mean, if this has, like, Flamethrower, that would be very, very helpful. Like, yeah, Val doesn't deal with, Flamethrower Clef very well. So yeah, T-Tar's already weak. What is he even... I guess he has to go to Sizz here. This Stealth Rock set usually has Knockoff or T-Wave as the coverage move. But back in the day, Flamethrower, Stealth Rock used to be a set. So there's no real reason not to use that. So the Tran is probably like Magma Storm, Earth Power, or it could be a Rotom trapping one like Solar Beam. But I just don't like that set. So yeah, he's Leftovers Tran, which is almost certainly I guess it could be like Torment Tran. But that would fit much better on a Spikes team. Like a Spikes Mega Lati team with Torment Tran could be good. But yeah, he does appear to be Magma Storm Tran. So the Lati comes in, and this is threatening Earthquake or Surf. Surf is becoming more common. Tesung blocks the... oh, it is Trick Scarf. I don't know how I do it. So Torn, I guess, is safe here. Yeah, I was thinking this team was much too slow, and I know I said it. I said the Scarf Lati was on this team. So this is also probably Scarf for Tesung. And if this is Scarf, it doesn't have, like, coverage moves. Scarf with coverage moves is pretty bad, so it's probably like Draco, Psyshock, Trick, and Defog. Which means this team is, like, weak as hell to Keldeo. Yeah, like, this just loses to Keldeo so fast. Like, use Secret Sword once. Let the Scarf go on something. I guess it could be Trick Roost, but I don't really like that set much. So yeah, the Scarf Lando doesn't really need to stay healthy most of the time, so taking the helmet damage isn't too bad for Tesung. I guess he can just go to Clefable here, but the Sizz... Yeah, we don't know what the Sizz has, so if it's like Knockoff and it knocks off Heatran's Leftovers, Tesung will probably lose over time. But if it's just like Bug Bite, which I think is the preferred set at the moment, the Heatran can just sort of switch in indefinitely. It could also be U-Turn, that sort of fits on a team with a bunch of powerhouse threats, because you can like U-Turn into Volcanion against, I don't know, Lando T or Heatran and bring in Volcanion and just try to kill something. And then you can also U-Turn into like T-Tar, but I don't think Sizz lures in that much stuff that T-Tar likes to hit. But yeah, U-Turn with those two is something I can understand. So yeah, I think Torn's probably the better play, because if you bring in Clef and you don't have Flamethrower, you just kind of let the Sizz in, and if it's like, well, it's probably not going to be faster than Heatran, especially Magma Storm Heatran. So yeah, Clef comes in, which makes me think it has Flamethrower, or Tesung is just not willing to risk a Okay, Tesung's talking some shit. So yeah, Val just U-turns out into Sizz as another Moonblast happens. So I guess Tesung is just hoping it doesn't have knockoff, because if the lefties get knocked off Heatran, then that's just going to be like the game basically. But it is U-turn Sizz, which is also going to be a huge problem for Tesung. I think he probably loses to Sizz in... Actually, no, because all of his Heatran checks are like already weak. Which is what I was saying before, that like Heatran could end up winning. This should be max speed. Even like defensive quote-unquote Heatrans run max speed now, so T-Type will die to Earth Power, Volcanion will die to Earth Power. Laddie can come in and like threaten a trick and get off a Defog, which would let, you know, Thundurus and Volcanion and stuff live for a bit longer. So yeah, I think Heatran is like the win con for Tesung, and then Valentine's probably going to try to win with Sizz just by like chipping this, but I don't know whether his team can withstand Heatran for long enough to do that. So I don't really think Val has a play other than Laddie here, but then he has to decide between like Trick and Defog and attacking, and like Laddie always puts pressure on Tesung's team because he doesn't want anything taking that Trick. I guess he could go to his own Lando on the Trick, but then Laddie can just like threaten to KO that with a Draco. So that's just going to be another prediction the next turn. Alright, so he chooses to go to Thundurus instead. I guess he's threatening a Focus Blast here, but lefty's Focus Blast seems kind of weird. What's the role of this on the team? I guess it'd be like a late game cleaner, so it would probably have agility. Agility 3 attacks seems odd. Like this is sort of a Pokemon you would choose that because you've noticed your opponent has a weakness to it. And I imagine Tesung would be weak to like Double Dance Thundurus rather than agility because he uses Clef a lot and like Heatran and stuff. So yeah, I doubt it's just like agility 3 attacks. So maybe if he just Thunderbolts this though, that's like a decent result from this turn. So Tesung might have liked to go into Lando, like wanting to keep this healthy. There's obviously the risk of missing Magma Storm too, but I think he's probably going to have to hit a few Magma Storms to win this game with Heatran, so maybe he should just go for it. Alright, so he does have Focus Blast, that's weird. So Clef comes in to eat that up, which I guess means is it just agility 3 attacks? Like, I guess he could use Nasty Plot, but he already has like two Balance Breakers, so that'd be kind of weird to have just like Nasty Plot 3 attacks Thundurus T. So Clef is back in. This Sizz is getting in range where it needs to roost. So yeah, the thing is, I don't know what all this is. Maybe these two have some beef, but Clef can probably kill this with Moonblast from here. Lando's gonna die. Like, Moonblast kills everything except for actually Volcanion might live, but Sizz is like the sensible play here. Oh wow, he just gets a crit T-Bolt, okay. So this should be at 48. But it's not. So Volcanion pretty much kills something with Steam Eruption here. I don't know whether it would have killed Clef without the crit, so that's kind of interesting. Is Volcanion the play? I guess it is. So yeah, Steam Eruption's going to kill something if it hits. You could actually just go for the fire move if it's like more accurate, so maybe if he has Flamethrower, which he probably doesn't, he could go for that. Because no one sacks Heatran here, that would just be like asking to lose. Can Clef heal on anything? No. So Steam Eruption takes out the Clef, and I guess you would go to Tran here. That seems to make the most sense. But you do... he has to, like, let something take the trick from Lati. And then Tran should just be able to win. Yeah. And if Torn gets a Scarf, that would actually be helpful, I think. Although it might let Sizz set up, but it should never be able to beat the Tran. So he goes to Torn, which is weird. He must have superpower. Like, I don't know why you would go to this if you couldn't... Maybe his Heatran is slow, but I don't know why you'd go to this unless you had a move that would 100% hit this, because, like, okay, good. So he has superpower. Because there was no real reason to do this unless... yeah, I guess this removes the prediction game with Lati a little bit. Well, no, because Lati can just come in here and, like, threaten to kill something with Psyshock, so you still have to decide whether to get Heatran tricked. So yeah, I don't really see why Torn was better than Heatran. You do take one less round of... You take, like, less rocks damage, I suppose, but... yeah. So this thing is... This is going to be a really interesting endgame, because if Val tricks on the Heatran, he can probably... Well, maybe even Scarf Magma Storm Tran can win. Yeah, that's something I didn't consider. Like, if he gets tricked to Scarf and just hits 4 Magma Storms, he wins. But yeah, that's like 75% raised to the power of 4, obviously, so that's not very likely to happen. So it's really hard to know. Like, if you stay in, this just dies. If you stay in and he tricks, you just win with Heatran. So he does go to Tran. And Val does go for the trick, so he's given himself the best chance. Now this kind of walls the Heatran. If it has Roost, that is. Like, if it doesn't have Roost, he's kind of rooted. But T-Tar can potentially trap this now. I imagine Magma Storm will do 12%. Like, I don't know whether this is going to be max... max special attack. It's probably max HP, so he does stay in, and he's only got Psychic. Okay, so if Tesung just hits all of his, like, 5 Magma Storms, then he wins. That Psychic crit is... Yeah, he just has to hit 5 Magma Storms, which is gonna be, well, we just have to see now whether he can hit 5. Like, Tesung is, extremely lucky most of the time, so he's... Yeah, there's 3. Lando has to come in. Suck my fat cock. Yeah, I guess he doesn't even need to leave this Heatran in. On the Lando. Does he? No, because I don't even know what would be the better play there. So this obviously has to come in, and Tesung can just, like, switch to his own Lando or his Tornadus if it has Heat Wave. But, like, he's gonna have to hit 1 more Magma Storm anyway. Yeah, Sizz is at 60%, and Bullet Punch can sweep if this Heatran is eliminated somehow. So, like, Tesung can go to his Lando and knock off, and then you just, like, let the Sizz set up. Yeah, I think it might actually be safer. Like, the only play I can see is Magma Storming again or going to Taunt T if it has Heat Wave, because if you give the Sizz a chance to Swords Dance, you need to know when to bring in Heatran, because, like, if the Sizz gets, I don't know, maybe +4, Bullet Punch does 30% to Heatran, which is what it will be at after Rocks. Then, yeah, so I feel like Magma Storming again was actually safe. But yeah, Tesung is going to probably win unless he misses, like, all of his remaining Magma Storms. But yeah, five hits so far is quite Tesung-ish. So East are going to go up. Well, it's not over yet. Let's just wait and see whether he hits the last one. But yeah, like, he needs to miss all 3 to give the Sizz a chance to win. And he just hits another one, so yeah, that's the game. Wow, okay. Bit unnecessary. Valentine seems like a nice bloke to me, but anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Interesting game. Like, it was really hard to see which win con was going to emerge on both teams. But I'm pretty sure I said Heatran at some point, so yep, I can take the ego boost from that. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.